You're listening to Power 750 WAUG and online at power750.com. If you're looking for affordable health and insurance coverage, well then give Jonica Rowland of the Rowland Group a call. She's here to serve families, individuals, and small businesses. Contact her at 919-719-7211 or at 919-539-2492. Once again, contact Jonica Rowland of the Rowland Group.
Thank you for tuning in to another broadcast of the Babethomherman Show with your host here, Herman Thomas. And first of all, I'd like to congratulate the Florida State Seminoles for winning the 2012 ACC Championship with an 85-82 win over the 2012 ACC regular season champs, the University of North Carolina Tar Heels, who first of all were without star forward John Henson. What a great game that was. Now, the first time these two teams met, we all know that Florida State defeated the Tar Heels with John Henson by 33 points. So I don't think too many people were expecting this close of a game, but the Tar Heels did come out and played with a lot of heart and gave it a great effort. Now, of course, the tournament MVP was Michael Snare of Florida State, who led them in scoring for this game at 18 points. And Harrison Barnes of North Carolina led them with 23 points, while Tyler Zeller had 19 points to go along with that. He had 12 rebounds. This was the 18th championship contest decided by 3 or fewer points. The last title game decided by so small a margin, of course, was that great game that Duke won back in 2006 over Boston College. So what a great game that was. Now, another remarkable stat out of this was Kendall Marshall, who I felt should have been first team all-ACC. He had 31 assists in 3 games in this tournament, which set a new standard for the event, eclipsing the 29 achieved by former Tar Heel great Ed Coder back in 1999. Now, the all-ACC team, first team, is Michael Snare from Florida State, who once again was the MVP, Tyler Zeller, North Carolina, Kendall Marshall, North Carolina, Lukes from Florida State. Some people call him Lucas, but he was on the team. CJ Leslie as well on the first team. Or Luke Louts, I'm sorry. That's what a lot of people pronounce it, Louts. Second team was Harrison Barnes of North Carolina, Bernard James of Florida State, Lorenzo Brown of NC State, Austin Rivers of Duke, and Terrell Stogman of Maryland. Those were your first and second team All-ACC. Now, also, we would like to congratulate North Carolina State, who received a bid, scared everybody to death almost, because they were one of the last few teams that CBS showed on the chart on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. Of course, they're in nonetheless. The number 1 seed in the Midwest, of course, will be the UNC Tar Heels. It's going to be interesting if that's going to be an interesting regional, because you have number 2 seed Kansas also in this regional. Should be interesting if both of them went out. They would definitely meet. Now, Duke received the number 2 seed in the South. Number 1 seed in that region is Kentucky. North Carolina State, of course, got the 11th seed in the Midwest. Florida State received the number 3 seed in the East. And Virginia received the number 10 seed in the West. Now, also on the women's side, we would like to congratulate Duke, Maryland, Miami, and Georgia Tech. They will be representing the ACC. Duke will be the only team of local interest in the NCAA tourney. And now the NIT, North Carolina State, Wake Forest, and Virginia will be representing the NIT, the ACC, and the NIT. Now, for the first time in 11 years, the big news out of this whole episode is the first time in 11 years, of course, the UNC Lady Heels will not participate in the NCAA tournament, rather, after not receiving an at-large bid on Monday night. Head coach Sylvia Hatchell said, "I was in shock, disappointed, and surprised." Hatchell says she declined the bid for the NIT because her sights were set on the NCAA, placing all other postseason play outside of her scope. We never really even considered it. We were expecting to be in the NCAA and host. So once again, the University of North Carolina Lady Heels were not selected to receive an at-large bid on Monday night, and also declined an NIT bid. So certainly a surprise. I thought they did well enough to get in. From some of the teams I saw that were selected, I thought did well enough to get in, but unfortunately the selection committee did not. Also, I almost forgot that also the Miami Hurricanes men's basketball team will be representing the ACC in the NIT. Virginia Tech was, of course, didn't get a bid because they had a losing record. First time, usually we always have Virginia Tech as a bubble team. This year, that was not the case, as this was a rebuilding year. And North Carolina final standings to go into postseason play for the NCAA tournament. North Carolina finishes at 14-2. Duke, of course, North Carolina, finished at 14-2, 29-5 overall. Second place, Duke, 13-3, 27-6 overall. 2012 ACC 20 champions, Florida State at 12-4. Number 3, also at 24-9 overall. Fourth overall was Virginia at 9-7, 22-9, and of course number 5, North Carolina State, 9-7, 22-12. All of these teams, of course, are in the big dance. NIT was Miami, 9-7 and 20-12. Pretty decent season for Miami. So certainly nothing to hold their heads down with a 20-12 record. The women's, Duke, of course, 15-1, 24-5 overall. Miami, 14-2, 25-5. Maryland, 12-4, 28-4. Georgia Tech finished at 12-4, 24-8. Virginia, 9-7, 22-10. North Carolina finished at 9-7, 20-11 overall. Wake Forest, 7-9, 19-13 overall. And of course, NC State, 5-11, 18-15 overall. To finish the regular season, this is all records prior to the postseason play of all these teams. Also, coming from the ACC, it's unfortunate that Glenn Rice, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, leading scorer, 13 points per game. Also, in 6.7 rebound per game average, in what was a very bumpy first season under first-year head coach Brian Gregory, in which Georgia Tech finished 11-20 overall and 4-12 in the ACC. He was dismissed from the team following an incident last Thursday near a Midtown Atlanta nightclub, in which don't know all the details. You don't know who to believe in this. I'm hearing several different stories, but according to one report, police responded to a call of a shot fired near a Midtown Atlanta nightclub, and the police pulled over a Cadillac Escalade that Glenn Rice was a passenger in. So I guess this was just, the charges that say it was permitting unlawful operation of a vehicle. So certainly this is definitely an unfortunate incident that led to Glenn Rice Jr. being dismissed from the team. Once again, Georgia Tech star forward Glenn Rice was dismissed earlier this week from the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket men's basketball team. News from NBA basketball and NFL football after this brief message from our sponsor.
A natural skincare studio. Now your new neighborhood skincare studio. Professional, friendly, relaxing, personalized attention. Now offering facials, natural manicures, pedicures, and waxing. Come check us out at 711 Iredell Street, Suite 3A, Durham, North Carolina, 27707. Give us a call at 919-416-1490 or check us out on our website at www.misseajbeauty.com.
Once again, that's a natural skincare studio located in Durham, North Carolina, 711 Iredell Street in Durham, North Carolina. And thank those who may be tuning in. Once again, this is the Babethomherman Show with your host, Herman Thomas, on this beautiful Saturday morning. I'm sorry that the voice is probably seeming sounding a little strange this morning, but with this pollen coming in the air is playing tricks with me on today, unfortunately. And I do apologize for maybe sounding a little monotone, but nonetheless, I'm amongst the living and not the dead, so I'm definitely thankful to be here once again on this Saturday morning with you. If this is your first time tuning in and you wanted to listen to previous broadcasts, please feel free to listen to previous broadcasts of this fine show. You can go to my YouTube channel. That's YouTube channel Babethomherman, Babethomherman. Also, please feel free to follow me on Twitter. Also, if you wanted to send me a personal message, feel free to do so at babethomherman@yahoo.com. Once again, that's babethomherman@yahoo.com. Well, after all the news and speculation about where Orlando Magic Dwight Howard would end up, he's still he is still a Magic. After all the speculation, like I said, where he would be from New Jersey to the LA Lakers to, I've heard reports of the Brooklyn Nets, which are currently the New Jersey Nets, but will be the Brooklyn Nets in the very near future. He is still a Magic. Like I stated, Howard signed papers Thursday agreeing to waive the early termination option in his contract. This guarantees that he will be an Orlando Magic at the beginning of the 2012-13 season. He could still demand a trade, or they could lose him in free agency next July. So it just remains to be seen what's going to happen with this. I think it's still going to be a topic of discussion next season. I think he did the right thing. He didn't want the events that occurred to LeBron James a couple of years ago, when he did that along with ESPN and LeBron James, the decision which turned out to backfire on James, his image rather. It was a PR nightmare for him, and I think certainly Dwight Howard didn't want to make the same mistake. It also gives the Orlando Magic a chance to piece together a team of players around him, to surround him with better players. So with the new collective bargaining agreement, this gives the Magic the ability to offer Howard $30 million more than any other team if he became a free agent. And this will apply next year as well if he decides, hey, I want to opt out. And I think my prediction, and I could be wrong, but I think what's going to happen next year is that he's going to get teed off or pissed off, frustrated. I think you're going to either see Van Gundy fired, a new coach come in to give him an opportunity to see what he can do with this team, or you're going to see Dwight Howard demand a trade somewhere around the deadline next season, and he will probably be traded. Like I said, I think he just did this to prevent any damage from his image. He was certainly, what was running in his mind, like the rest of our minds, was the decision that LeBron James did a couple of years ago that backfired on him, his image. It was a public relations nightmare for him. Now, also, Mike D'Antoni, big news from the New York Knicks. He resigned as coach of the New York Knicks. Ended his turbulent 4 seasons with this franchise. Basically, in a nutshell, he had no choice but to leave with dignity or get fired. It was time for D'Antoni to go. It was just time for his tenure to end there as a Knick. Now, also, Portland Trail Blazers fired head basketball coach Nate McMillan, and also waived former number 1 draft pick Greg Oden. Certainly that was no surprise. The surprise is firing Nate McMillan. I thought